The board serves to essentially make sure that the organization functions properly and also that the shareholders get their return on investment and get their money returned. So this is the general structure of governing board or governing body in general organizations. In home health hospice, it's still that same structure, but of course we have other positions that are required and mandatory that they also need to approve and hire and things like that. Now that we know who participates in the governing body meetings, a lot of times people will ask, how often do governing body meetings need to occur? How often does the board meet? So this is not a black and white question. There's only nuance in this, but the long story short of this is based on your bylaws. So on your corporate bylaws, and the bylaws are the organizing principles of the governing board. So these are the laws and rules and procedures of the board. So based on your bylaws, and also whenever something happens that they need to meet to make that decision that's time specific. So they will generally meet at some frequency based on bylaws. And then if something comes up, they'll meet again to like approve or whatever, or create strategy around that situation. And for a little like background refresher, a bylaw, it happens when you first incorporate. So when you first set up your corporation, the first thing that happens is that the bylaws are created. And from those bylaws, then you're appointing board members and things like that. Bylaw frequencies could be monthly, could be quarterly, could be annual, and so on. In many companies that are not heavily regulated, like our industry, let's say, they could be an annual meeting of the board, and that's fine. But in our industry, we recommend a much more frequent meeting cadence because there are a lot of things that need to be approved in home health and hospice that just happen on a kind of a quarterly system. I personally think that the best frequency for governing board meetings is a quarterly system. Monthly is a bit overkill. You kind of don't need that kind of attention all the time. Quarterly is like just the right amount. And if you're doing it annually, you're just going to have a lot of like PRN. So, unanticipated, but scheduled meetings to account for like various random situations. So quarterly cadence is going to be great. And then here and there, if you need to approve anything else, then you can. So what do we cover in the governing body meetings? They cover a lot. First and foremost, because they're responsible for the entire functioning of the organization, they have to approve every single thing in the organization.